So a couple quick things about the LeBron Stephen A moment. One is, just generally speaking, and this gets to where my frustration about how LeBron has been covered forever. The killer instinct, people aren't afraid of him. He's not this guy, he's not that guy. So much of that just has to do with how he's been covered rather than the reality. Because what happened on Thursday night was, in a game it looked like the Lakers were going to lose, in between the third and fourth quarter, LeBron James saw the world's most famous sports media member, who he thinks has been unfair to him and his family, more on that in a second, walked over to him, checked him, and then, against that guy's favorite team ever, walked them down, hit the three in the corner to cut it from 4-1 directly in front of that person, and then won in overtime, hitting all the clutch free throws. If that were Michael or Kobe, it would be part of their legend. It would be in their documentaries. Oh, and then this time, walked over to him in a game looked like they were going to lose against that guy's favorite team, and then won the game. And so that's just, I thought that was, I think most of us, when we saw it, assumed that happened after the game. And I was even a little confused because I was watching that game, and that game LeBron went right to the locker room after the game. And then when you saw it, it looked like something was going on the court. So I remember when the video first came out being like, was that during a live action essentially? But I didn't put it all together, and then we got the real details. It was between third and fourth quarter. Now, because I think a lot of people have been really dishonest and unfair about acting like, oh, LeBron's son's in the league and now he doesn't want anyone, even though he's an NBA player, to criticize him. That's not what this was. This was a number of different things. The first one is this. I do think, as far as criticism of Bronny James, I do think it is, listen, Bronny James as a basketball player is totally fair, a fair target. Where I think there might be some frustration is, have you heard, and I'm going to mispronounce some of these names, any of these names in any media whatsoever, except for maybe the most in the weeds, dedicated local team podcasts? Baylor Shireman, Jonathan Mogbo, Kyle Filipowski, Tyler Smith, Tyler Kolek, Johnny Furphy, Juan Nunez, Bobby Klintman, AJ Mitchell, Jalen Wells, Oso Ighodaro, Adam Bona, KJ Simpson, Nikola Durisic, Pell Larson, Jamal Sheed, Cam Christie, Antonio Reeves, Harrison Ingram, Tristan Newton, Enrique Freeman, Melvin Ajinka, Quentin Post. I've been hearing some Quentin Post. He's been playing well for the Warriors. Cam Spencer, Anton Watson, Kevin McCullough Jr., Ulrich Kamchi, Ariel Hukporti. The only guy I've heard mentioned all year. Now, the first couple names I mentioned, Filipowski obviously was a great college player, and Shireman was a really good college player. All year, maybe a little Jamal Sheed. Those are all the second round picks. So it's not as if on these shows we talk a lot about second round picks. So you might be like, well, yeah, but Bronny is getting more opportunity, getting more run. he's playing in more NBA games than most second-round picks. Well, let's check. Bronny James, the 55th pick of the draft. Here is where he ranks amongst rookies this year in the following categories. Again, you'd hope, I did this once before, I will do it again. The 55th pick, you would hope, is around 55th in everything. In minutes played in the NBA, Bronny James, the 55th pick, is 56th. In games played, Bronny James, the 55th pick, is 51st. In assists, Bronny James, the 55th pick, is 53rd. In steals, Bronny James, the 55th pick, is 48th. In points, Bronny James, the 55th pick, is 56th. So in other words, playing exactly to his draft status. Yeah, well, those are garbage time minutes. What does that really mean? What's he doing in the G League? 21, 5, and 5. In the G League regular season, 34 minutes per game on 45-39 splits. So I think some of the frustration is the Lakers took in the first round last year Jalen Hood-Schifino, who is, let me check his G League stats, who is no longer on the Lakers. They didn't even, what draft? Yeah, last year's draft. He got waived or moved, I don't even remember. And he is this year, I don't know, not the tip-off tournament, regular season, in the G League. Sorry, this is taking me a moment. Last year in the G League, the Lakers' first-round pick. Again, Bronny this year in the G League, 21, 5, and 5. Last year in the G League, their first-round pick. What number was he overall? I think 17. It was pre-20, I know, because there was a really good player taken right after him. He was 17. Pods, who everybody in the Warriors loves, went 19. So Bronny this year, 21, 5, and 5 is the 55th pick for the Lakers G League team. Jalen Hood-Schifino, 22, 5, and 5 as the 17th pick. So it does feel like, well, we don't really talk about these guys and then this. But that's not what this was about. This actually wasn't about Bronny. This episode of What's Right is brought to you by Daya Pizza, featuring dairy-free cheese made with their new Daya Oat Cream Blend. Dairy-free cheese come a long way, and Daya is leading the charge. Their pizzas offer the melt and stretch of traditional cheese without any dairy. Each Daya pizza starts with a perfectly crisp crust, layered with savory, satisfying toppings, and finished with cheese that melts and stretches beautifully. The Daya Oat Cream Blend delivers a creamy, cheesy texture that's indistinguishable from dairy-based options. Every pizza crafted to be dairy-free, making it a great choice for anyone seeking more inclusive meal options without compromising on taste. Daya takes the concept of dairy-free to a new level, eliminating faux mou. It's not the fear of cows, that is the fear of missing dairy. These pizzas deliver delicious taste and texture, making them perfect for any occasion, from casual dinners to game day spreads. Enjoy a faux mou-free pizza night with Daya. Visit DayaFoods.com for more information, or find Daya Pizza at retailers like Whole Foods, Kroger, and Walmart. Coming soon to select Publix and Sprouts. Follow Daya on Instagram and TikTok for more updates and recipes. And this is the part that I think just should be level set. It was about two things. One, the commentary when, and I said it before, I'll say it again, I really like Stephen A. But I'm just trying to, so I'm not even making as much of a value judgment about this. I'm just trying to kind of set the record straight. When Stephen A. did I'm pleading with you as a father to end this, that really, really bothered LeBron. And that was why, by the way, LeBron's people called Stephen A. and then Stephen A. made fun of him for it. And so then LeBron handled it himself, which felt to me totally reasonable. And so I didn't really get when Stephen A. is like, you have my number, all this stuff. Like, Stephen A. always says, I'm at the games, I'm around, come talk to me. That's what he did. But when you're talking to a guy who had no relationship with his father whatsoever, and then basically telling that guy in LeBron, be a better father, that is going to really, really ruffle some feathers. Then when you add to it the fact that we've all kind of memory hold, the fact that Bronny suffered cardiac arrest and almost died less than a year and a half ago, when you have that added kind of anxiety as a parent, which any parent that's ever had any health scare with any of their kids, and for the those, parents out there listening who've lost a child, I can't imagine. But for the majority of us, we've never had a health scare like that, but we've almost all had something where we're super nervous. You can't imagine what it'd be like. You get the phone call, your kid's getting CPR. So you're certainly going to be on added edge. And then the other piece is this. Does it feel like there has been, and this is where the leave my son out of it part, I guess, is about Bronny. Does it feel like there has been, is it surprising when you hear Bronny in the NBA is playing exactly to the level of the 55th pick supposed to? When you hear in the G League, he is producing exactly to the level the Lakers' first round pick, 17th overall, did last year. Does it feel like that's what's been, when they've decided to talk about him in the media, that's been the topic, or that's been the context, pardon me, or does it feel more like it's been, this is a Make-A-Wish story. This is a guy who has no business being there and is way out of his depth. And that's the part. Now, listen, some of this is just part of being, I guess the good side of being Bron's kid is you get drafted when maybe you wouldn't have. The bad side is even if you play up to that level that you earned it, or that you're earning it, you're going to get scrutinized. But as Stephen A. said, that was a parent confronting a guy about his kid, and I didn't think it was out of line. And I actually think the fact that he did that and then walked down the Knicks, who happened to be Stephen A.'s team, right in front of him, is pretty dope. Sadly, LeBron's now hurt. So, Lakers, I would say, let's just say he's out the next 10. They should beat Brooklyn, Phoenix, San Antonio, Chicago, Orlando without him. And then at Milwaukee, at Denver, home for Denver, home for Milwaukee. Can you go 1-3? I guess I'm putting it like this. 6-4 in the next 10 without Bron would be good. 5-5, anything worse, big problem. And 7-3 or better is outstanding. Luka can do it, especially if Rui and Jackson Hayes are back. Luka can do it, but it's on Luka now. Luckily, at any given night, he's the second best player in the league.